I messed up. I pulled a Steven.
Oh,
Yo, what is going on? Another week, another dollar. Andrew skipped out this week again. Oh, wait. Andrew is here. Sorry, I forgot he's part of the podcast
I'm
after the
here.
last month he's had. Half of August he skipped out on, ladies and gentlemen. What up, gentlemen? How we doing tonight? Let's get straight into how we doing.
Let's let the guest go first.
Yeah,
So,
you've been. I mean, 2 weeks of worth of stuff. You have to have something good for us, right?
Yeah, man. How old's your wife now?
My wife just turned 32, which her birthday was last week, which was on the day, so I was not going to join on her birthday. Currently, I feel like death, but I'm here. I'm showing my commitment. I wanted to message and say I wasn't going to be there, but I showed resolve tonight, pushing through it, scratchy voice and all. Might have to mute to blow my nose a couple times, but we're here nevertheless.
Yeah, there's interesting about the podcast world and about you just being like here, not contributing much other than being here, is that the bare minimum for you is actually just being here. So at the moment, we're not giving you credit for doing the bare minimum. You're here, buddy.
I'm here.
I'll say this: it's more than the last 2 weeks have been for you. That's for sure.
Hold on, it was 1 week, and then I came back, I hosted, and then I was off on my wife's birthday.
I could say
2 weeks in a row.
I could say it more negative and say half of August, which sounds way worse than the last 2 weeks.
The good news is I'm present. I'm here. I'm excited. I'm glad to be here.
We'll see how good that news actually is in this
grateful
episode.
for you guys to let me join you.
Yeah, as you should be.
Yeah.
All right, passing it to you, Con. Steven, what's up?
Thanks you, Andrew, for showing up, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Power through it. I tip my hat. You know what I mean? Just about to get fired, but it's all good. I'm glad you showed up. You know what I mean? No, I was kidding. No, man. 2 great things happened this week. I fell back in love with Star Wars on a deeper level that I have in a long time. And
interesting, because that episode that it was, I thought you would. We'll get into it, but I thought you would.
Yeah, we'll get into it because I did do a deep dive into some other people talking about it, and we'll get into it. And then the other thing is the NFL's back.
Yeah, excited about that.
The NFL is back. We have stuff to talk about. We have stuff to rag on each other. I know Andrew's not big football. It's all good. We're gonna bust his chops.
I mean, I like watching football. I'm here on Thursday nights.
I'm glad you like watching football because it's gonna relate to the game a little later tonight. You know what I mean?
Andrew'd rather be here than watch football, which is what he's doing at the moment.
Oh, gotcha. Thanks, Andrew.
So
besides that, what about you, Matt? What have you been up to?
Wait, were we supposed to watch the most recent episode
of the podcast? No, you made it clear that you don't watch it when you're gone, so there's no point.
Yeah.
Anyways, so my week has been cool. My week's been good. Ahsoka is everything I wanted it to be, so that's good for me. And I'm a huge Ahsoka fan. You gentlemen both know that. So my Ahsoka love is even more than before. We'll get into that. NFL's back. Fly goes fly. Go Birds. What's good? Bird gang. Wing showing. I'm flying high today. We don't play till Sunday, but I'm excited anyway for football being back. Fantasy football. I mean, I'm so excited for fantasy that I wanted some stake in the game tonight. Dropped my kicker and picked up the kicker for the Detroit Lions just because I wanted some kind of fantasy indulgence. He's doing pretty bad. He has 2 points right now, but it's kicker. Who cares? So I'm excited for that. Big Brother's going pretty good so far. It's pretty standard at first. Then something big happened, and then some more drama happened. Big Brother's going good. Master Chef is back. Been watching that. So how much has it been good? I've gotten super into the Minecraft scene again, which you guys both know I have this like once a year, 3-month devotion to Minecraft. I'm
Mhm.
currently in the beginning phase of that, and I love Minecraft to death. Starfield came out, Payday 3 came out. I might try it just because of the promo I saw, which I talked to Steven about. But let's dive into a lot of the different things. First off, gentlemen,
Let's.
the NFL is back. Andrew, you're not a big sports guy, so I'm not going to go too deep into the NFL. But because you're not a big sports guy, I have a special thing planned for the tail end of this segment. So NFL is back, gentlemen. Andrew, do you care at all?
I mean, I'll watch. I'm not like, I don't think I'm as excited as you guys are, but like, especially now that my work schedule is going to align, having Sundays off, there will be a reason to watch. I'll watch. I think this year will probably be the first year I'm going to try to follow a team for as long as possible. And Mr. Steven, you're probably not going to like this, but I do have a special place in my heart for the Eagles
Go Birds!
because
you gotta do,
Birds,
man.
baby!
my
Right.
company hosted them while they were here, and it was pretty cool to meet
Mhm.
talk to some of the players. Got a hug from a random guy, which I don't even know if he was famous, but I'll be waving that Eagles flag this year.
Go
See,
Birds.
that's cool, man. I tip my hat to people like that because you have some kind of connection. You know what I mean? Instead of people being like, "Oh, they won the Super Bowl last year and the shirts are everywhere, so I'm going to buy a shirt." You know what I mean? Those
They didn't
guys,
win.
I know they didn't, but yet you're still going with the Eagles because you have some
Here
kind
we
of
go.
connection.
Here we go. I already
You know what
felt
I'm saying?
pain tonight watching the banner go up in Arrowhead. I don't need to feel that again, okay?
Oh, I didn't even
Dang.
think about how much therapy you had to go through because of that,
Mhm.
and how close I saw a man, almost a grown man, spend
Cry.
$4,000
Yeah.
to go on be on the field with
And
them
lose.
as they won.
Oh,
At the
dude.
last second, go,
Dude.
nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I couldn't
And
do it.
paid $4,000. Andrew,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say his name out loud because I'd be messed up, but his name rhymes with Matthew. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Well,
But-
look. Here's the good thing, okay? Is that a motivated Jalen Hurts is a scary man, and this year he has a chip
Sure.
on his shoulder now. 35 points should win you Super Bowl. So I know he's pissed off about it. I know
Mhm.
all of our veterans that wanted to retire the last 2 seasons, they came back this season again to just like, we need to get this done. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not going
Yeah.
without a championship kind of thing.
For
Jason
sure.
Kelsey, shout out to you. So I got that going for me. I'm just excited. We have a good team on paper. Like, we look nasty on paper. So I'm excited. Andrew, what made you not get into the NFL before? Is it just your scheduling conflicts?
Yeah, a lot of it was I was working on the weekends, specifically on Sundays. Like, didn't ever rarely have it. Normally Mondays I had my day off, so I would try to watch Monday, but it's hard to follow something like
It is.
religiously on Sunday and not be there just because of the amount of games that are there.
Yeah.
And I think like in the place in my career, I wasn't willing to exactly like have it going on in the background. Exactly.
Well, listen, you're gonna find out quick about Philly, and you haven't really.
It's
Like, this is a weekly thing now, like this podcast.
Mhm.
So you're gonna find out real quick how up and down my mood can change based upon how good Philadelphia did that
Yeah.
week.
Mhm.
And Philly fans are like that in general. Like, their entire week is just if we lose by 1 point, we're in shambles. If we lose by 10, I'm cussing the whole week. Lose by 20 or 30, the team damn near is off my list of teams.
Mhm.
But we are very passionate fans. Our highs are really high. We freaking love our team to death. But at the same time, I will bash any player on my team, including Jalen Hurts, if he is not playing well. But I digress.
Yeah.
So,
I've heard
Steven,
that
who's
one
your
before.
team?
I am a Bucks fan, man. I've been going for the Bucks for years. We've gone through the Freeman years, the Johnson years, the anything in the Glennon years. We went through just a
Glennon years.
brutal. Yeah, it's been a rough one. So the little bit of we had with that one Super Bowl and a couple winning seasons, I'll take it. I don't know if we're going to be partying. Now I'm looking for just the playoffs this year, or not be last place, one of the two. So it's a big swing, either playoffs or not last place. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I think you'll get into football. To be honest with you, a big push of mine was playing fantasy football. It just made me start following the sport a little more. I love my team, but you get a bigger appreciation for the teams and the players
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
start playing a little bit of fantasy football.
The 1 year that I did do fantasy football, I felt like that was the year that I was like constantly watching or like
Yeah. I think that was
reading up.
2015, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Jared.
It gets
I
fun.
think we made a trade and everybody hated us for it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And somehow
man,
like I
but-
got the best auto draft of all time and
Yeah,
like
you
ended
got
up being in the top 3.
Oh, there you go, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But it does have its downs because you're just like your team can go your franchise, like the bosses of the bosses, pick a player that you just know is dog crap, and then you're riding it out for a couple more years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it does.
The pain is
Matt's
hefty.
team did the same
My
thing.
team-
They thought Jalen Hurts was trash, dude. Nobody wanted
I
him
did
because
not like
Carson
the
Wentz
pick.
was there,
Yeah.
and then he's their shining star. You know,
Now
what
I do. Now I die for Jalen Hurts. Like I
Yeah.
go to
He's a good
war
football
for
player.
Jalen Hurts. Yeah. So there's not much to deep dive into. It's week 1, but what we will say is, Andrew, I'm going to give you a bit of a blind side here, and I'll allow you to use ChatGPT if you'd like. But
Mhm.
I'm going to let Steven go first. Maybe you can listen to his explanation. Then I'm going to let you go after. I need MVP of the season, and I need the 2 Super Bowl teams, and I need the Super Bowl winner. Steven, you go first.
So Super Bowl winner, I'm going to go backwards. Super Bowl winner and MVP of the Super Bowl. Is that what you're asking, or MVP of the season?
You can do both if you'd like.
Okay, MVP of the Super Bowl is going to be is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts winning Super Bowl, the Eagles beating Kansas City. MVP of the season, I am going to give it to Patrick Mahomes. I think he just goes off this year. And then I think a team that I don't want to call them like a coming out of nowhere, but I think the Bengals are going to prove a point. I think the Bengals are good. People are going to get nervous at the Bengals. But yeah, I think the Niners fall off. Just
Andrew, you want me to go, or do you want to go ahead and?
You're gonna have to go because I
All
gotta
right.
look up people.
So, as much
So
as I
Magic
wanted to be
Johnson.
as much as I wanted to be the fill of the year and just sweep every kind of reward we can, we're not going to. I'm actually going to give MVP probably to Patrick Mahomes, but this is the big but. If Joe Burrow is healthy the whole season, I do think he proves a point this season, and I do think Burrow can lock it in. I would say either one of those players is first place, but the other one is not second. I think Jalen is second in MVP voting this year. Hurts is going to continue on doing his thing, I think. I know it's a big, sometimes they're not as good as next year, but Hurts has all the tools to continue on
And
being
some.
great. Yeah. So I think I'm going to say Mahomes, but I do think Burrow can creep in there and win it if he's healthy. If he doesn't play week 1, obviously we're already in disadvantage. 2 Super Bowl teams. Give me the Bears, baby. Come on. And not even just being an Eagles fan. Let's be real. Who's in the NFC? The Niners?
Yeah.
We already beat them. Handedly. Oh, Brock Purdy was hurt. Maybe we should block our defensive player then. I don't know what to tell you. We had the most sacks last year. We're going to continue on with that trend. He's going to get sacked again. Just protect your guy. Don't put a tight end in our best pass rusher.
Yeah, the argument for that is so crazy to me. How they're just like, if we would have scored more points, we would have won. It's like,
yeah,
anybody would have won if they would have scored more points.
If our quarterback wasn't hurt, we'd be okay. And I was like, you know how your quarterback got hurt, right? You guys didn't block our best defensive tackler. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. So give me the Birds, only because the NFC is weak and Dallas is going to choke like they always do, and Minnesota also would choke. The crazy part is I could see Dallas winning our division. I could see us still going to the Super Bowl despite that. The AFC is where it gets super interesting, because there's a lot of talented teams: Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, Jaguars, Jets. Now, the Bears can make a run for it too with their division not being the greatest anymore. But I am going to confidently say that it's a rematch from this last year. It's Eagles and Chiefs. And I think this year we get it done, honestly, and that we win it. If we do win it, it's going to be because of Jalen. So I'll give Jalen MVP of the Super Bowl as well. But I could also see a defensive player I forgot his name, Hassan Reddick, also winning it just because we value our defensive tackles a lot, and they make a lot of chaos happen. So hopefully the field this year is a little better, so we're not slipping everywhere, and we can have our defensive line actually do something this Super Bowl. And Gannon's gone, thank God. Sorry, Cardinals fans, but Gannon's going to be trash for you guys as a coach. So yeah, That's what I got going for me. I'm gonna say the same
All
thing as you though, Steven. I do think the Bengals
Yeah.
have a chip on their shoulder from last year, and Joe Burrow loves playing Kansas City. He really does.
And if somebody has a dog in him, it's Joey B. When in doubt,
Yeah.
never bet against Joey B.
Yeah, the best
All
black
right,
QB
Andrew.
in the league, Joe
I want
Burrow.
to hear Andrews put this together. Eloquent. Let me hear it.
Mhm.
Gentlemen, the MVP of the 2023-2024 season is going to be none other than Mr. Lamar Jackson, the quarterback from the
LJ.
Baltimore Ravens. And the only reason I picked him is because my dad's middle name is Lamar. I liked it. That's the honest truth. As far as who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl, I don't know, again, if this is even possible or how it fully works because, again, don't really follow it. But to keep my pick consistent, I'm going to throw the Ravens and the Eagles out there.
The Birds.
Okay,
Birds.
that would actually be a pretty good game.
That'd be two running quarterbacks who can throw the ball. That'd be pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh,
Watch
good.
it come true.
Mahomes can do that too, but
Watch it come
LJ
true.
MVP LJ is a different breed, I will say. So if he is MVP level Lamar Jackson, which Andrew, that's not a bad choice because he's won MVP like 3 years ago. Like it wasn't like it was just
I
out.
didn't look that up. I literally just liked his name.
And the 2 years he has been like good. He got hurt at some point, therefore he couldn't win MVP because he's out a couple weeks. So it's not a bad shout, Lamar Jackson.
No, it's not.
We just
It's
kind of
not.
forgot about him.
And what sucks about him too is his back hurts for carrying his whole damn team
Yeah.
to wins when they don't want to build around him. But that's a good pick. If it flips and say Kansas City goes Kansas City Eagles, I'm going for the Eagles. Ravens Eagles. I don't know who I'm going for in that game. That'd be pretty cool.
I
Not a
just
bad
need,
take.
honestly, I don't even care. I mean, I do care, obviously, but Jalen Hurts deserves one, man. And he's only been in the league 3 years, but last season he truly did deserve above anybody else in the league to win that damn championship. And defense let him down big time. All right, we'll pivot away from that. We'll get into some actual things we talk about usually here. Let's get into probably Ahsoka first. We'll start with Ahsoka, and then I'll also get into a little bit of all these things I have written down here. I have another part to it that you guys don't know about, and that's
Cool.
on purpose. So Ahsoka, let's get
All right.
into the episode 5 and 4 since we didn't do 4. And let's go from there. I will let you go first, Andrew, since you know a little bit more. And wait, did I say 5? I meant 4 and 3. Episode 3 and 4. And let's get reactions. Keep it brief, Edgar. All right, we'll get into the weeds of it later, but keep it a brief episode 3 and 4 summary and how you liked it.
Yeah. So episode 3, I felt like it was just it was good. Like there was the time to fly, the whole like fighter scene, very cool. Like that. I'm honestly having a hard time remembering what all happened in that episode because episode 4 was so good. Let's see. So I'm gonna skip 3 for now, and we'll come back and touch base on it. Episode 4, man, there was so much good stuff in here. The first thing, there was the talk of who this Merrick character is. Nothing. Love it. Yeah, Marok, whatever. Whatever his name is, doesn't matter. He's gone, or is he? Could he be coming back? I guess we'll see. The other thing, I think the choreography for the lightsaber fights felt so much better than any lightsaber fights that we've seen in Disney Star Wars, with the exception of Luke mopping the floor with the Dark Troopers. Like I felt like that's the only one that's above that. Everything else has been just kind of heavy swing.
Cap.
What? No, it was great.
The throne room has been the best lightsaber sequence.
I hate that Matthew.
scene.
I hate that Matthew's right on that.
The throne room is the best one.
Throne room
There's
scene.
so much bad acting and like times where things disappear and times where they could have easily been killed. No. You gotta go back and watch for that stuff.
No.
It's almost
I
as bad as in the Goblet of Fire, the little hop that the man from Durmstrang does. Everyone's doing flips and one man just a little hop.
Don't
Go back and watch that
Harry
too.
Potter. Don't
So
care
you're
about
mad
Harry Potter.
about imaginary wizards doing a hop?
No, it's everybody's doing cool things, and the one guy like clearly lied on his resume saying that he could do all this stuff and just does a stupid hop, and they kept it in the film and they could have edited it out.
Now
Anyways,
you watch it.
Back, it's pretty good.
Let's see.
Back to episode 4, the fight scene between Ahsoka and Balin, so good. Like I've said it once, I'll say it again. The man is just like menacing. I love it. I don't feel like he's like this bad character, but he just like his presence oozes just like power and strength, and it's very cool to see. Let's see what else. The hyperspace jump, like how like powerful it was, that was pretty cool. It's kind of like a first that we've seen. The ending, absolute banger. Like we got to figure out how she got there. We knew the World Between Worlds was coming. I'm not as skeptical as some of the people that I've seen online saying that, this is like the bad Force Ghost, or I think it could be completely somebody else. Not necessarily has to be Anakin, but we can get into those theory crafting in a bit.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. But a solid, great episode, probably the best episode so far, and then left us wanting more. It was the first time I was like, no, give me more.
Yeah, and I feel like 10 minutes I would have been stoked. Just 10 minutes. Yeah, it's dope. What about you, Matt? Oh, you want me to break it down? Or we go next?
Yeah, you go next.
All right. My next one. So 3 I thought was a perfect setup. I thought 3 got me going, got me, biting my nails, getting ready for this. And then with 4 dropping, I forgot that the episode was about to end until I hit the remote on accident and I saw that there was like 6 minutes left. I was so mad because I was in love with it. One of the things I did love about this episode was I think they did a great job with the fight scene in like those filming domes. You know how they make the domes where they film different scenes and it looks like they're out in the canyon, but it's really just like a CGI dome. They happen a lot on Mandalorian and Boba Fett, especially Mandalorian, and everything was in front instead of like interweaved and stuff. The fight scene with Ahsoka and Sabine fighting off, and I thought it was choreographed perfectly. I know it wasn't super intricate, but yet it's believable. They're in the back of the ship. I saw it. They're fighting for inches for ground. I thought it was dope. I do love the compassion of the episode 2 that Ahsoka thought she lost her Padawan pretty much, or Sabine. I seriously think she lost it because she slammed that chick against the wall. I wanted to see her freak out just a little more, but I think they did just enough to get me hooked, to get me like, okay, this dude's legit. He's just not some walk away Jedi. He can hold his own against Ahsoka, who, if you don't know, has done some crazy things to some Force users that not most people can step up against her and handle it. But yeah, I thought it was evenly matched. I love the high stakes. I love that she burned her hand. I loved all of the lore, and I felt like there wasn't a scene that was wasted. In that, I know it was a one place kind of shot. The only thing I didn't like is I felt like Sabine giving up the map was a little weak. That was the only thing I can criticize about the episode. Truly, I just felt like it was a little weak. I felt like they should have.
I feel like it's spot on Sabine though. Like that's her character. Like even to the fact that she surrenders that technology to be able to take out Beskar to the Empire, and then ends up killing a whole bunch of or getting a whole bunch of Mandalorians killed. Like
I know there's something she's gonna get redeemed, but I just feel like it was, to me, just like you could kind of see it coming. I don't know. It felt like a little cheesy, nothing that would ruin the whole episode because I know where they were trying to go, but I just felt like it was a little weak. But besides that, I gave the episode I want to rewatch it because I feel like I missed a couple things, but I even like how they brought the fighter jets in. My son heard his name get called, so he was stoked. He's like, "Did you just call my name?" And we watched the episode. It was stoked. But yeah, Star Wars got me happy because my sons and my kids are like really getting into it now. So yeah,
makes sense. All right, so clearly 3 is forgettable. We agree on that, obviously, because no one brought it up.
100%.
So 3 was way too short. First off, second off,
I think that's what it was.
It was forgettable. Nothing.
Yeah, good setup.
Nothing crazy.
Well,
happened.
now that I'm thinking back to it, there was like a couple good callbacks. You had like
Jason
can't see. Like,
Yeah, I mean, nothing important happened in 3. Let's be real here. They went somewhere, and they saw their expedition to that place. You could have cut all that out, and they could have been there anyway. And it was 15 minutes shorter than every other episode. The 10 minutes you're missing in this episode was because they didn't put it in the last episode. It wasn't because of this episode. The 10 minutes of them, like the first 10 minutes of this episode where they're landed and they're somewhere and they're looking for them, that could have been the last episode, and it could have ended when Hu Yang gets kicked by a robot. That would have been a perfect cliffhanger. And there's your 10 minutes back for the next 10 minutes that you're missing. So 3 was meh, whatever, cool. Episode 4 was really good, complete 180 of episode 3. I got really scared there for a second because I was like, here comes the Mandalorian path that Dave Filoni just completed. But 4 is really good. I disagree on a couple things. One, I as good as Balin is as a character, I don't think he's menacing or like oozing power to me. To me, he's just very sophisticated and confident. I'm not necessarily see the power portion behind it. He can speak and is very manipulative. That's for dang sure. So I'll give you that much. But like the actual like power aspect of it, I don't see it. And Ahsoka also had one hand tied behind her back the entire fight against him. So
I mean, she's still like super powerful though. If you think about it, like she took out Maul like
with 2 sabers.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like, and maybe it's not necessarily the character. Maybe it's more so like Ray Stevens, like his portrayal of this character is like so like the stoicness that he portrays. Like for me, every time he's on the screen, I'm like, man, he is great.
He's good. I'm not saying he's not good. He's very good. I just don't agree with him being some like crazy powerful guy who beat Ahsoka at her full potential. And
No, I don't think.
And when she got pissed off because she got Sabine died, she still had one hand because she just got burnt by another thing. It's what I've been saying about every other Star Wars thing. Like, except this time it's character I love versus character you guys want to see better. Character I love had a handicap. I'm okay with it because it drives the story.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. But I'm not going to sit here and say that like on their best day, Balin can actually hang with her. I don't know. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
So that's my thing with Balin. I love Balin. Those characters. He's really good. Marok being the witch. I think Marok, people are always nobody. It's the significance of him turning to dust like that was that Shin has been scared of that witch this entire time, and now he realized, oh, that's a witch possessed body right there.
Yep.
That's been
just a corpse.
Yeah. So I think it's just going to add that layer to the story when it gets there eventually, because I think Shin is very, very.
I think
cognitive of what's going on around her.
Yeah, I think like so between Balin and Shin, I think Balin is a very conflicted person. I think she's straight up evil though. Like
she looks nuts.
Yeah,
wow, dude.
There's a meme I saw going around where it's a picture for like through her like a little face.
And someone's like, blink.
And someone goes, "I can fix your trust me."
Dude, when she started laughing, there's a scene when he goes, "You take care of her, like you slow her down," and if you look at her face, she goes from being concerned and she just starts to laugh as she turns around and walks away. And I was like,
"She's very good. She's very
damn,
good.
That shit's scary as shit." You know what I mean?
Like, held her hand up for the power thing. She's like, "Oh, you have no power," but like in a very like sadistic, "Oh my, I'm about to mop you and torture you" kind of way. So she's really good, and she hasn't even said many lines. She's just her demeanor is just
menacing.
Like I feel like the way you see Balin, I'm seeing her. Like
I feel like I started to see that this episode, like in episode 3 when she's flying. I'm like, why isn't this chick blinking? Like she's got to have some dry eyes.
Dude.
So obviously, Robo Team World stuff came in, which that's the stuff Steven likes, which is
no, I don't like
a little. No, I know you don't like it, but this episode you liked it. Did you not?
Yeah, but it was like 10 seconds of that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like when I saw it, I literally this is what happened to me. I saw the scene and I was like, man. And then I saw Anakin, and I was like, okay, let's chill out for a second. Let's figure this out before I say I don't like it. And then that's pretty much where it went.
Gotcha. Okay. So we can get into the weeds of things now. We can get into theories if you'd like, but keep them brief. None of this
Let's do
tangent
this.
stuff. Like I don't need to hear about Harry Potter when we're talking about Star Wars again. Thank
Fair
you. That being said, Anakin is back. Spoiler alerts ahead. If you haven't watched it and you haven't seen it, you're not a big Star Wars fan anyway. So I don't really care about spoiling you. But Anakin's back. Obviously, came back. There's a couple details that I was like oozing over. First off, he said, "Hey, Snips," in live action, and I almost melted in my chair. I was like, "Oh, he said it. He said it. I freaking love him." And then you could just see in her eyes the amount of joy it brought her to see her master outside of the Vader suit. In his
That's crazy.
In his Clone Wars form, really, because that's how he looked in the Clone Wars. So it brought a lot of memories back to her. Obviously, she's very emotional. She thought she died. She might have died. I don't know. We don't know what happened yet. So with Anakin, the next episode is hidden theaters, which is crazy. It's not like a long episode. It's only 40 minutes. Obviously, we're going to see some things happen. So Anakin's back. Gentlemen, what do we think about that? And where does it go with that?
Take
Andrew,
it,
you want me to take it? You want
I
me to
want
take
you
it?
to start.
All right. So I was kind of going down the rabbit hole after I saw it. I Googled some things and was just going, the YouTube, train. After I watch an episode, I usually go into YouTube, see if there's things that I missed to go back and rewatch. If there's something that I didn't catch, they usually break it down. One of the articles that I was reading said that in this next episode, we're going to see the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin from a different point of view. So I was interested on that because that seems very interesting to me. Now that we're in the world between worlds, is Ahsoka going to be able to see what happened? You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. And then I'm sitting there, I'm working earlier today around like 11, and then it just clicked in my head. This is my theory. I don't know if anybody else has came up with this. Maybe they have. My theory in my head is, did she fall off the cliff about to die, and did Anakin pull her out? You know what I'm saying? Because she got pulled. Did Anakin pull her? You know what I mean? I'm just nobody knows.
It's a good theory. It's a good theory.
That's just
I like it.
That's just my theory.
I think not to poke a hole in it already, Bo, but just to answer your question, the continuity aspect of it, of how Ezra did it, it isn't aligned with the way that it would be shown in this specific.
But didn't Ezra just do it like out of passion, like he was freaking out and he thought she was about to die and he grabbed her?
No, what I mean is like the result of her being somewhere. Ezra was, she was grabbed, and Ezra was standing right next to her. It wasn't like he had to walk up from a far distance like Anakin did. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay, I get. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking
they could retcon that pretty easily. It's not like it's hard.
Yeah, for sure. So that's why I'm like, whoa, how do I feel about this whole situation? You know what I mean? Now, like, this is Filoni's world, man. He has his own, thing. And another crazy YouTuber broke down that there is portal gates to the world between worlds and different planets. And that spot that she fell was built by ancient people that
is
where is a portal. So in my head, I was like, man, maybe my theory's right where Anakin pulled her. You know what I mean? But then where does it go from here? Anakin can't just be like walking around the world. You know what I mean? Like, we know he dies.
Or she fell through. Like, it could be a situation where she just fell through.
Oh, yeah. That's if I'm not thinking of my theory, that's what I think. I think she fell through it. I think she just, I don't know, maybe just fell right through it. But, that's my little theory.
I think the other thing too is, so you have to go back to the Mortis episode, which I'm pretty sure it's either Steven or Matt. One of you don't really love that episode where it talks about like the brother, the father, and the daughter.
That's not me. It's
Yeah.
Steven.
I don't
So when in those episodes, the brother kills Ahsoka,
yeah.
and then the spirit of the daughter gets put into her. So I think there's going to be some kind of like tie-in of she's there because of has like this connection to the world between worlds kind of thing because of the daughter.
That's a good point.
So I think that's kind of where she just kind of popped up and is there. It could be that I forget the name of the owl, but the owl that's like always around her could have had something to do with it too, because that's like the daughter's like spirit animal, if you will.
Interesting, because that could definitely work with the theming Darth Vader music at the end of the episode.
Yes,
because the brother would be using Anakin in that situation.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I think is.
That's really good. I didn't even think about that.
When I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is weird because this is a Clone Wars Anakin, not like a post Return of the Jedi Anakin who is shown in like the white robes and like has his hands.
Okay.
And you have the black robes with his clearly robotic glove on. And my first thought was, okay, maybe this isn't maybe this is just all happening in her head kind of thing where she's seeing what she remembers and that's what she would remember. But the other thing that I thought was, or maybe it's the brother is trying to do something,
trick her or something
by tricking her, and that's the only form of Anakin that he knew, and so that's how he's able to project it, is because
it's the last time she saw him. You know what I mean? In the mental note.
I think it's one of those two things where it's either the brother, and to see like a live action version of the brother would be kind of cool because he's pretty freaky. But my gut tells me it's probably not going to be the brother because I feel like there'd be too many villains crammed into one show. But
man, I can't wait for Tuesday. Gosh, come on.
Yeah. So,
good theory, though. Good theory.
I think to the theory of the brothers, that would be really cool. I think it's just 9 episodes. We have 8 episodes. Mm-hmm. They're only 40 minutes or so long. It's too much. It doesn't really drive this story forward unless they explore it in the next season. Mm-hmm. Or my theory ultimately is they brought Anakin back and Hayden Christensen for that matter to have a more permanent role in the Star Wars world. Enough of these cameos, enough of these flashbacks. I do think this is going to be the first step in the multiversal Star Wars world that we're talking about, which is there's a branch off somewhere which leads into Rey's multiverse.
Don't you hate that?
Do I hate that?
Yeah, I feel like you hate that stuff.
I hate the way you said it was going to be, which was like when Ezra pulled her out, that's when it started.
Mm-hmm.
I would be okay with it starting from this point because it doesn't completely ruin all the continuity that came between that point in Rebels up to now, timeline wise. So if they started from here, I'm okay with it. That's the only way they can do it if they're going to have both worlds simultaneously go on, which would make the most sense for the trilogy that came out and the continuity of a post-Kathleen Kennedy world. With that being said, what I'm trying to get to is the Vader music is for a reason. He clearly is not going to be a good guy, Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a fight that breaks out between the two of them. Ahsoka pushes him into a portal, and he's off into Rey's world. And the Rey film, where she's going to be training young Jedi, her main enemy is going to be Anakin. That's right. Not just Anakin.
Like full power.
The Sith Lord, he should have been Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I see that going with his story specifically. And I do think it is a branch off into that world that I think Filoni is going to take, not charge it, because I don't think he really cares for that side of the Star Wars story. But I do think if there is a way to bring a character back like that, it's through Filoni's route, which is the world between worlds. So they'd have to go this route. But I don't think it ultimately adds anything to the story itself. I think it ends with her finding Ezra in a portal somewhere else on the other side of it where this beam's going at the moment. So instead of them having to track them because they can't now because the map is gone, she ends up running into Ezra's portal anyway.
Or is the map gone?
Map is gone. Thus, Ezra.
What about her hand?
Map is gone. So thus, Ezra.
I get that theory.
The map isn't like inscripted on the orb. You have to like have it beamed to a galaxy. Yeah. That's why that doesn't work. Anyways, the portal just gets her the quick route to Ezra and to the conflict at hand. And then the Anakin part is just to have him continue on in Rey's story, which would be pretty crazy. A dyad in the Force, a specific instance like Rey, That's never been done before in the history of Star Wars. Versus an unstoppable evil force like Anakin is going to be an interesting movie to go through, whilst she's protecting younglings who Anakin has already slayed before. So,
The Youngling Slayer 3000 again.
yeah. So if she's going to be training Jedi, and she knows of Anakin's past, which she would at this point in time, and she's like a master Jedi now, where she understands the Force and her role in it. It could make for a really, really, really epic, like just cool lightsaber battles, and just really cool like power levels that we haven't seen before, specifically for Anakin, because the biggest thing everyone always wants to see is a fully fledged, powerful Anakin, and
mollywops everybody.
They're gonna give us it back. Hayden Christensen never wanted to leave in the first place, so I think they lock him in and they get that done with Rey. That's where I see that going. It's just a 2-point series, or 2 points of it is just Ahsoka from point A to point B very quickly and instantly without having to need a map, and then Anakin having a reason to be in the Rey film later on. I don't know how it shakes out or like what happens there specifically. I just know that's in my opinion, that's how it ends with that those two things happening. Thrawn theaters, Anakin's a part of it, obviously, because of the theater portion of it.
Yeah.
Do we see Thrawn and Ezra come in if it's going to be in theaters?
I do. I see they're not going this far out to theaters if they're not going to be dropping the hammer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think they drop some Anakin fight scene.
I think so too.
And I think they drop Thrawn, and I think they drop Ezra, but I think Thrawn comes before Ezra, and I don't think we get the same Ezra that we saw in Rebels. I think we see an Ezra that just is on some next level type shit. You know what I mean? An Ezra that just you're just like, whoa, and he just comes out and just I don't think we see little baby Ezra anymore. I think we see like a master with the Force when we see Ezra.
Do we see a potential for Ezra to know that there is a portal somewhere?
Yeah, I think so, because he knows the world. I think he knows how the world between worlds works, and he
only
understands.
one that knows it. Yeah.
I think if we see an Ezra, we probably see it at the very end of the next episode, and it's not like I feel like there's going to be more Anakin and Ahsoka moments than there are going to be Thrawn and Ezra. I think we'll get the reveal of Thrawn, and then maybe like towards the very end, we see and here's what I'm hoping for. I'm not going to be like bummed if it doesn't go this way, but I'm hoping we see an Ezra who is different in the Force, not necessarily like good or bad, but in this new galaxy, the Force works differently. So maybe it's different powers, maybe it's changed him physically in a different way. Like that's the cool thing about opening up this whole new galaxy is realistically, we don't have to follow the same rules that we follow in this galaxy, and it could be completely different. Like, and I'd be okay with changing it up.
Fair enough. Can I ask a question that I think needs to be answered by somebody? Where is Zeb?
Yeah, I asked that. I'm like, give me Zeb.
Like,
give me Zeb and give me.
The ball. Why didn't they put him in that? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know.
The only thing that I'm hoping for is him and Callus. Him and Callus are off somewhere, and like that could be like he's the guy with the big old chops who's he's bad at first, but then he ends up being a spy.
Yeah, I don't know.
At the end of Rebels, him and Zeb are like buddies, and that could be like a cool.
But we know the thing is, and again, this goes to the continuity point of it. We know where Zeb is. He's with Carson. So if Carson's there, is Zeb?
Well, we don't necessarily know that he's with. He just was at that cantina.
They were on the same squadron. That was the point of them being there.
Were they?
No, I think one was blue, one was red.
I don't think they were in the same squadron. I think they just were meeting up at the cantina.
I think it's just like an outpost. But either way.
But regardless, we need Zeb. I feel like we're getting gypped in the Chopper. Like Chopper is the droid with the most kill counts. I want to see him just waste somebody.
So update real quick on the NFL. Chiefs just lost. Game 1, Chiefs lost. It's bird season. It's bird season. All right, I'm trying to tell y'all. All right, anyways, that's the topic at hand. It's okay. Yeah, that's it. I just want to know where Zeb is. But
Yeah, I
anything
lost
other
Zeb.
than that that comes up to mind. I don't understand the Ahsoka fighting with one saber thing. I really don't. Not against Balin. Any reason for that anybody can think of?
I think the only reason is her goal is not to fight. Her goal is to get the orb, and so I think she has 2 lightsabers in her hand. Her priority is 1, I can get my hands on the orb. I think she's relying on like I can be faster than this guy. I can spar a little bit and grab the orb and be out of here. Versus if she's got 2 lightsabers in her hand, like there's not like a great way to hold it.
So I have no idea why she has 1 lightsaber, but to me, watching the fight between them two, I felt like he was kind of holding back a little bit.
Totally.
I think he's more conflicted about fighting her than she is fighting him. She's trying to find Thrawn, trying to find Ezra. I feel like he's used to. I don't know how to say it. He looks like a knight who has like a moral value, and it looks like right now he's conflicted between his moral value and like trying to survive.
He has a goal. He's already very, very, and his goal is not like it's not like his goal is like to restore.
We don't really know what his actual goal is.
So
at the moment, his goal is to get Thrawn to come back. That's what we know for sure.
So well. Kind of. He says he's doing it to have Thrawn come. He's like, I don't want war. Thrawn wants war. I want the world. Because if you think about it, when the Empire was running the game, there was a kind of peace. You know what I mean? You know who you know the bad guy is. It just is what it is. When the rebels started fighting, that's when things start shaking up. People start dying for a revolution. That stuff happens. I think that guy's seen because he looks like he's wearing clone battle armor. I think he just wants to be like he's
already said. This isn't the only episode where he said something he wants. He's already said power beyond our imagination. So clearly he craves the power. 2, he said nothing about not wanting a war here. He just said it's just a consequence of what needs to happen for me to get what I want. Doesn't say I want it to happen. He just says that he doesn't get what I want. This is what has to happen. So it's not like he's like avoiding war. He's actively seeking out Thrawn to come back for whatever reason. The reason is power based because he's already said that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it has nothing to do with keeping peace.
Well, I'm not saying peace. I'm just saying that I think he's seen so much battle. He's seen having to live in hiding. He's seeing the Clone Wars were just brutal. I think he's gone through all of that, and I think he just either the witch is going to give him some kind of power, or he thinks he's going to get from her by bringing Thrawn back, or he thinks he's going to get to live on a galaxy where nobody's there. He doesn't have to hide. I think there's several different things.
Yeah. But long story short, it's not like he's just taking money and just being like a bounty hunter.
No, I don't think that at all.
And if someone's in his way, he has no reason to hold back. And I don't think he held back in the sense of like, I don't think he wants to kill her. I don't think that's his goal.
No, I don't think so.
His goal is to do one thing. At the moment, I want Thrawn to come back. So I will do whatever I can. Make sure Thrawn's back. And let's be real. He killed her. He thought she died when he threw off the cliff. Yeah. So it wasn't like he was holding back to not kill her. He thought he as far as she knows in his mind, she's dead.
Yeah.
Now the Sabine thing is only because she had the map hostage, and I think he has honor, which comes back to what I said before, which is like he's a man of like prestige, the Count Dooku type, like I said before, where he has value in those kinds of things. But I don't think it's because he's like a conflicted good guy. I just think that he has a specific thing that he wants, that he knows he wants. He'll do whatever he has to do to get it. Doesn't matter who's in his way or what's in his way. And he is honorable in a sense of, if I give someone my word, I give him my word, unfortunately, which is why, like, when they found out she was a witch, he's like, I already told her we'd help her, and plus we need to help her because power beyond our imagination comes if we help her.
I don't think his goal was to actively kill Ahsoka. It was Morgan, whatever her witch name is, told him to stall, like hold her off.
Yeah, we should get the map pieces together, pretty much.
Yeah.
No one's wanting to kill anybody so far. They just want
Not,
to keep us wrong. Except for that girl.
except for
That
Shin.
white- yeah, that crazy- hey.
So that was the only
Hey,
other thing I was gonna add
that
to it is
girl
I
side
feel
again.
like he's anchored. She's like a loose cannon, and I think she is gonna be his demise.
I do too.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I have the exact same feeling because she doesn't know the Jedi code to say. She's never fought in the battle of the Clone Wars.
She was
She's
never
done
a
a lot.
youngling either. Hu Yang has been very clear. I don't know whose saber this is. Like I have no
Yeah.
clue.
Yeah.
So all she knows is whatever Balin's taught her. Which
Yeah,
I'm interested to see where. I want to know where Balin was at during everything because he clearly has a distinct memory of Anakin.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And when Ahsoka brought it up, he kind of dodged it. Like everyone knows who he is, but it's like no, Balin, you know Anakin somehow. You need to tell us how.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but I do think Shin. I think Shin ends up like living and ends up being like the ongoing. Like next season, we get a whole bunch of Shin, even without Balin.
Yeah.
So
I hope. I really hope because I really love the character. And
She's
they
very
kill Sith
good.
Lords way too fast.
She's
way
very
too
good.
fast.
She's very good. Cool. We're gonna pivot because that was a long topic of discussion, and we love Ahsoka. You know, I'll never stop talking about Ahsoka. So, you know, we're gonna move on to in the same realm of possibility. We're gonna switch to movies. Gentlemen, Secret Wars, Marvel stuff. So right now, Sam Raimi is being looked at as the heavy favorite for directing. One, how do we feel about that? And then two, like I said, with every topic, there's a secondary thing I'm going to ask you guys as well. So let's start with Sam Raimi doing Secret Wars. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Are you like unsure about it? Do you see any other route that can go really besides Sam Raimi? Start with you, Steven.
To be honest with you, I am kind of backpedaling off of the MCU for a little bit. I'm not even going through and reading posts, reading updates, just because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like where the MCU is kind of going. And what I want to do is kind of reset my brain for the Marvels. So I'm looking at stuff, but I'm not taking it at face value. I did do some deep diving into Secret Invasion, and I kind of want to retract a lot of my statements I made about that show because I found out a lot about the recast, not the reshoots and stuff. But with all that being said, writer strike, all that jazz going on, I have nothing really to say. I'm so disappointed that in the franchise that I'm just kind of like I'm gonna let it be and see if I enjoy it still. Sad to say, but that's where I'm at with it.
Sam Raimi has had projects before the MCU. So as a director, how do you feel about Sam Raimi? And what you know
I do
Secret
like
Wars
him.
is going to be, how do you feel about Sam Raimi possibly taking over Secret Wars? Like direction of the MCU aside, he's a director. He usually has a consistent vision. Secret Wars
Yeah.
is a story we all know about. Put them two together. What do you think?
I like him as a director. I just think there's a little bit of creative control with the MCU right now that I'm just not a big fan of. So I feel like if they gave him free reign, maybe. But when does that ever happen in the MCU movie? Free reign that doesn't kind of screw things up in the long run. But I do like him as a director. I just don't know how I feel about the direction. You know what I mean? I think he's going to do a great job. I think he's going to be shot very well, but I just don't know where they go in such a short period with where they kind of put themselves. But yeah,
Probably push back inevitably, obviously. But 4 years is a good amount of time.
Yeah,
But we're gonna push it back another year or two, probably.
I'm optimistically skeptical. So Sam Raimi, he pumped out the original Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, which were like very good. Spider-Man 3, not so good, but we know that there was like a lot of executive decisions that were made specifically like on the character and the villains. What makes me lean more towards the skeptical side is Doctor Strange 2.
Right.
Like, I feel like that movie should have been way better than it was. And I don't know why it went like some of the directions that it did. I don't know if that was like his vision.
Who was it?
I That's the only part that really
Some of it wasn't. I will say some of it was, but most of it was not. I would say.
Yeah, that's the only part that has kept me skeptical was just Doctor Strange 2. And again, that could be more of like where Marvel is wanting the storyline to go. It just didn't do it for me. But again, Secret Wars, if you have somebody who is behind a very good Spider-Man, a solid Spider-Man trilogy, it would seem if they're going to bring back multiple Spider-Man, he could be the guy to do it and do it well.
Maybe.
Skeptical though.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not excited about it. We'll start with that. And I'm not even like a little bit excited about it. I don't think he should be directing this film. I will give him some grace. Doctor Strange 2. It was not his vision. There's 3 different directors, 2 different writers. That movie was a mess just because of all their production issues.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think the issue is creative control at Marvel. Feige has been very open about letting directors do whatever they want to do in their films, as long as it ends up with
moving forward.
Everything he's done. I mean, even down to the continuity of Guardians of the Galaxy, for example, James Gunn had no clue Gamora was going to die. And it wasn't because it wasn't a big grand plan or like it wasn't a creative control thing. That's just what the Russo brothers decided. Therefore, Gunn had to clean it up. That almost is the opposite of what the problem is. It's sometimes there's not enough continuity there where like things don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like Peter's mask. Peter's mask was a big one. Like he did the mask thing where he floats in space and almost dies in the first film, but then the third film he doesn't have the mask all of a sudden, even though it broke in the second. So the creative control part of it, I think the onus for those things are on the director when it's a fully backed project for the director. Sam Raimi's case, not the case of that. Again, there's shoots, reshoots, 3 different directors coming in, 3 different writers coming in. So that was like no fault of Raimi's.
Yeah, that was a cluster.
Raimi's fault, which was the horror stuff. Just so old-fashioned horror, not even like anything cool. Typical jump scare stuff.
I feel like when you look at like the Russo brothers, like they were very forward thinking when it was coming to movies. When I think of somebody like Sam Raimi, I think of like, all right, this is going to be a witty one-liner, quirky 90s, 2000s era style.
Good, and the thing is, like, good directors, it's not for this film, right? Like, if they're about like a Wes Anderson in, I'll never badmouth Wes Anderson, but I do not want to see Wes Anderson on an MCU film. Maybe I feel the same way. I just, especially it being like the finale of the next, 4 or 5 years or whatever it becomes. Now I could see a situation where it works if they do bring in Doom and Kang and him just go like crazy and kill everybody. And I do see him having that creative freedom with Deadpool and those characters to do some pretty insane stuff. I don't think he's right for this film. Of all films, not this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all I feel about Raimi. But secondary part of this, since we didn't get too deep in that, because we don't really, I think all of us feel the same. Like, So, secondary part of this, Secret Wars. I know Steven's been decompressing from MCU, so he probably doesn't know this yet. Andrew, I don't know if you've heard of this or not, but Secret Wars is set to be a soft reboot of the MCU.
I didn't know
I didn't know that. I saw it on Twitter.
That is what the rumor is. There hasn't been like confirmation, obviously, because it's like 4 years away. It's not going to be confirmed yet. But I do think it's necessary, number one, to bring in the characters that everyone loves, right? Having Iron Man and Cap out for so long is not going to bode well for them when they have characters like Taskmaster being messed up. So, gentlemen, Secret Wars is over. Woohoo, hooray. They have now hired you, Andrew, the next 5 films of the MCU. So we are resetting the MCU. We're rebooting it. Give me your first 5 films and give me the overarching premise of the 5 films.
First 5.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that is tough. I'd probably
you have free reign on any character they have now, which is everybody but like the Hulk, technically speaking. But let's say the deal's in place where you can do a Hulk film as well if you want to.
Yeah, I feel like we need to finally see some peak good Fantastic Four.
Mhm.
Like give us a solid Fantastic Four crew. Give us
I need these in order.
villain in order.
I need these movies in order. I need your first 5 films in order.
Oh man.
a hard one.
You can tell us who your big bad's going to be too, overarching those 5 films. But
Okay, my big bad overall would be Doctor Doom. I'd probably start with like a foundation of Fantastic Four. Give us if it's a soft reboot, a full origin story, explain it. I would then want to go in like a different direction and go like straight to mutants. So give us like an X-Men. Let's see, what else? What else could we have? I mean, X-Men, you could go in so many different directions. If I was going to do X-Men, I don't know if I would have the same focus around Wolverine as the original X-Men trilogy had. I would have him, but he's not like the character. I feel like the main character should have been like your Charles Xavier and the school. Similar to kind of how the second reboot went. The First Class. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Very good movie.
Really good movie. Slept on. Really good movie.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I got 2. What else? Where else would I want to go? Man, I mean, there's so many different directions with X-Men that you could go to.
Yeah.
Like you could build like a little mini, almost like a mini universe out of X-Men.
Definitely good.
So like if you wanted to do like a Wakanda build up, you start with Storm. That could be cool. Man, this is tough. I mean,
okay, what characters do you feel need to be in the first 5 films? Fantastic Four, mutants. Okay, cool. We got that check mark.
mhm.
They're in there.
Honestly, that's kind of what I'm craving right now. Is I want Fantastic
not gonna lie.
Four. Like
I understand what you're craving. I want to know this. See, this is where it comes into the craving versus the actual job part of it.
mhm,
You have 5 films to work with. I know what you're craving. You want Fantastic Four and X-Men. And
Mhm.
by the way, they'll be here by the time Secret Wars is done.
yeah,
So you have every character you could think of that people want to see fulfilled will be fulfilled by then.
mhm.
So just think of it as a fresh start for the MCU. You're in charge of it for the next 5 years. You got
Yeah.
Fantastic
I
Four,
mean,
which is a good
if-
starting point, really.
if
I
you're
really
gonna-
do think so.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a New York, you got to have Spider-Man. You got to have an Iron Man. But I don't know if I want like another Iron Man.
It's a
And
hard
Spider,
one.
yeah, like those are iconic characters. But
What's wrong with? Wait, what do you mean?
Like
like,
you're in love with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, not a reboot Iron Man.
yeah,
Cool. Yeah, you have RDJ. It doesn't. I don't care who you cast.
I would take RDJ again.
Yeah, cool. So you have
if you
Fantastic
did.
Four,
Mhm,
X-Men, and then your next one's gonna be Iron Man with RDJ, obviously.
mhm.
Cool. Okay.
I'd probably do another Spider-Man. Just
Cool.
because you can't get enough Spider-Man.
We're going Tom Holland. We're going Maguire. We're going Garfield.
Tom Holland.
In
Give
their
me
prime.
Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland.
Good man. Good man.
Um,
You know ball. All right, last film. This is your 5th film.
I feel like it would have to be like a crossover, something that brings them all together. Give me
Yeah.
like here's what I would love to see as the conclusion to the 5 films. I want it to be Doom's film.
You can do a Doom film.
Yeah, it is Doom's film. Like,
Call it Doom.
yeah, similar to what we got out of Infinity War. Like that was Thanos' movie. This is Doctor Doom's movie.
Fair
He's
enough.
the focal point. You got all these characters coming together. He's gonna mop everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Is he gone after those 5 films?
No.
Cool.
And in the Spider-Man film, we would actually get a Norman Osborn that is like menacing. Norman
Yeah,
Osborn.
you would obviously cast Defoe again, but
I wouldn't be sold on Defoe. He'd be good, but
Stop it. See, here you go. How are you sold on Robert Downey Jr., but you're not sold on Defoe? Are you kidding me?
Defoe. He's a better Green Goblin than he was a Norman Osborn.
Sure.
but I don't necessarily want
You said menacing.
a Green Goblin. I want a Norman Osborn. Like somebody who doesn't necessarily have to be the Green Goblin right now. Someone that's like motivated by the money and the business aspect of it, not by like the actual power or the special abilities that he gets.
Lame. Steven, go ahead. Steven, you're up.
So I'm tooting. I'm right with Andrew on a lot of this. But since I'm an OG X-Men animated series kind of guy, I really wish they. You say Gambit or Gambit?
Yeah, Gambit.
Yeah, I really wish they started with the kind of the the Terminator kind of feel, that episode where Cable comes back to tell them, was it Cable or it was Cable, right?
Bishop.
When Bishop kind of comes up, tell him, hey, the world's crazy, it's falling apart. I hope I would have them start off like that with the X-Men, and he says, hey, there's one dude who can go back in time, and he has to meet up with and find somebody, and that person is Reed Richards. They bring in the Fantastic Four. So the first movie is X-Men, second movie Fantastic Four. I think the second movie would also be Fantastic Four again, but the Fantastic Four kind of really finding out that there's mutants everywhere. He reaches out to a rich, smart guy who maybe isn't Iron Man just yet, and another rich guy, Dr. Doom, before he's Doom. And these guys are like in a positive way trying to help. And then they kind of each just branch off. Doom going, I'm helping, but he's collecting power. He's collecting things to get stronger. And then Tony's really trying to help. And then maybe they find Captain America. They go down that rabbit hole. And I do agree with, I think it ends up on Doom being the final movie. But I think that would be a great start to a new reboot. That way they're introducing the X-Men, introducing the Fantastic Four, introducing the Avengers that are just not the Avengers just yet. You know what I mean? Where you can go do that looking forward down the road. If this is successful, then we bring in the Avengers. You know what I mean? And if this doesn't, do we pivot and turn? You know what I mean? I think that's going to be probably the best bet. Spider-Man, I want to see a Spider-Man, but I think Spider-Man's such a young kid that you can kind of put Spider-Man towards the tail end of that or in the second phase. If this
let me give you this though. What if it's an established Spider-Man, like a Tom Holland that's like older? Because I feel like we've gotten like the kid a lot, but give me like a 25 to 30-year-old, maybe even a little bit older. Like he's been around the block.
It would even be cool if they did a Miles Morales or like a Peter Parker, but Miles Morales was a mutant Spider-Man. He had the same abilities as Spider-Man, but it just wasn't he got bit. He just was a mutant. As a mutant version of it. That way, introducing Spider-Man going, hey, there is a mutant that I work with, Miles Morales, and you introducing him, I think that'd be kind of cool too. It would kind of suck messing up his like origin, but if you're doing a reboot with mutants, this is probably the best time to change some things, you know, if you're going to do that. But I do think that they need to end on Doom, and I don't think Doom dies. I think Doom just, you know, is Doom. He never ends, you know, always has a way out.
Yeah.
So.
Fair enough. Gentlemen, I have two routes I really wanted to go, but I can't pick one. So I'll just give you both routes. So the first one, we're starting off with Cap and Iron Man, like they did already. Keeping Evans, keeping Downey Jr. Then we're going to start with FF after that. Introduce the royal family. Then we're going to start with X-Men right after that. And in the X-Men film, there's going to be some kind of event that Doom causes to happen where the Avengers look to the X-Men immediately. Like, you guys caused this to happen. And we get straight into an Avengers versus X-Men film. Straight into it. I'm tired of seeing heroes versus villains. I want these heroes versus heroes things. I think the fifth film, we get straight into it, which is leading to a bigger 10-film plan with Doom later on being the culprit of the dissection. That gets the two factions split up immediately, and it makes Doom an even bigger threat. And it's very strategic for Doom. People die. Yeah. Sides are split apart. It's a very mastermind plan from him. So that's where I'd go personally. But I think I decided on the other one. The other one
that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good,
Yeah.
right? The other one, we're still starting with Iron Man and Fantastic Four. Okay, so we got those two guys. Then we're starting with after that Black Panther. Then after that X-Men. Throughout these four films, there will be a reoccurring character which just keeps causing issues, which leads to the X-Men film a little bit, where the Hulk is just out of control. They can't stop him from doing things. So the genius men that are in these first four films say, "Hey, ship him off, get him off his planet."
Planet
First,
Hulk.
the first 10 minutes of World War Hulk will be him, just a real quick, like it's like kind of credits that kind of show things that happen in like a quick amount of time. It's just him taking over Sakaar, him leaving Sakaar in those beginning 10-minute credits or whatever it is, and then we get straight into a 3-hour World War Hulk film where it's him versus whatever Avengers are established. I don't need to have a backstories of any of them. Just whatever Avengers I want to put in this, he's gonna mop through all of them. He's gonna mop through all of the X-Men, and we get a true Planet Hulk film, or sorry, World War Hulk film, where we get an unstoppable, quite literally unstoppable power fighting Earth's mightiest heroes, but it's internal. It's internally, they're the ones who cause it to happen. Throughout all that chaos, Doom somehow wins for presidency. We have the next 5 years.
So yeah, like
We're doing this control of the United States, pretty much.
yeah,
It falls under the X-Men and Avengers fall under his jurisdiction by whatever law he brings into place. Latveria is very strict. Every mutant that comes in is under his jurisdiction. Same thing, but in the U.S. Then boom, we have 5 years of a Doom-controlled U.S. where the Avengers are trying to do things in secret. You know what I mean? Kind of like a secret covert operation kind of thing, where Shield comes in. But that's my two pitches. They're both pretty good. The Avengers versus X-Men gets me very excited.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I do want an internal conflict specifically, because these big bads are cool and all, but I need someone to pull the strings from the outside. Zemo was a good example of that, but then just didn't do anything with him after.
Botched it.
Yeah, so he was pulling the strings a little bit, and then at the end he ends up being the guy. We're good for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I like it. But I really wish that Marvel would do I really wish they would do like the popular films and then have like a underlining set of movies that had to deal with like the dark side of the universe, where it was like the Doctor Strange and the monsters and the evil underworld kind of thing. Or the galaxy, and not so much Guardians of the Galaxy, but like the Celestials and that jazz. I really wish they would go deeper into that. But if they do a soft reboot, they're going to have to grab every casual Marvel fan with the quickness. You know what I mean? So they can't go too far in depth with like a crazy storyline. They're going to have to get, like you said, Matt, it make more sense grabbing Iron Man, things that people know. Yeah. That puts butts in the seats. I'm not gonna lie to you, if they told me Miss Marvel that Iron Man came back to help, I would be like, oh, I'm watching this first day. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's what they do. I can definitely see them if they were going to reboot. I could see that happening.
That reason is the reason why I know, no matter how bad the MCU gets, if at all, it could recover just fine. That's the exact reason why I know we're all going to watch Secret Wars anyway, because they're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. They're going to bring Chris Evans back. If Thor dies, they're going to bring Chris Hemsworth back. They're going to bring Garfield back. Those guys are coming back on that one film, at least.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be in it.
Everyone. Especially if it's going to be a soft reboot as well. You just kill the budget, because the next 10 years is going to be a relatively low budget with these smaller films. So I think it's going to happen, but we'll see. Steven, how long is your game? Do we have time for Andrew's topic?
My game's probably going to be about 10, 15 minutes, if that.
Andrew, how long is your topic?
It could take as long as we want it to take.
My wife is also making food right now, and she's waiting for me to eat, so keep that in
mind.
All
right.
Let's go to the game.
Cool. So since it is football time, and everybody has their football pants on, aka stretchy pants, because we love to eat when we watch football, or we love to eat when we're watching those 19 Harry Potter movies. So for Andrew, who doesn't really jazz with football too much, you can just use it as like you're sitting down watching a movie. We're going to be drafting in a snake draft, going from youngest to oldest. Andrew, how old are you?
32.
Old as dirt.
Yeah, when Jesus is there. I'm 35, 36-ish. So I'll go last, I guess. We'll go Matt, Andrew, me. And it's going to be, what are you drafting for your binge movie or your football Sunday where you're just chilling?
No, let's just do football
Maybe.
Sunday. I
Football
feel like
Sunday,
my
then.
movie would be different.
Okay, so let's go football Sunday. What are you drafting to make it that perfect experience?
Any object or item?
Yep, you can go any kind of items. And we're going to be going.
Are we assuming we have a TV?
So what we have in front of us right now is a coffee table in front of us, a nice comfy couch for two, 75-inch TV, pretty much my living room, but without the coffee table. And we're just sitting there. Couch for two.
No kids.
Couch for two. There's no kids, just couch for two. Or who are you drafting or what are you drafting? We're going to go.
You're about to get skipped because I'm going to drop one real quick.
So, Matt,
we haven't started yet, you bum. They always said, Matt, start. Go for it. That's where we start. Anyways, I'm going with the easiest choice of all. Everyone know, and I'm not a drinker, so that other thing, that's like the secondary thing. I'm good off that. I'm claiming every single chicken wing there is. I want all the wings. Give me all the wings. I don't want y'all to have one flavor. I want all the flavors. Give me wings.
You got chicken wings. You got chicken wings.
Pick.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good pick.
Mine is going to be bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers.
That is a go-to. That is a go-to. All right. Well, my number one pick landed back onto me, and that is going to be my wife's queso dip. My wife has the bomb queso dip. So I have to go with that with my number one pick. Hopefully she's watching. My second pick, because it's there, I'm going to have to go with the brewski. I love a cold brewski while I'm sitting there watching football. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a cold brew. I'm not taking all drinks, but I'm just going cold brew. And then that's what I'm going with so far. That's my two. What about you?
I'm going to do a fatty hamburger with a potato bun, slice of pepper jack cheese.
It's very specific.
Yeah, big old burger, no bacon on it, just cheeseburger with pepper jack.
Fair enough.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, let me think. I mean, I want to go food again, but I obviously need drinks. You know what I mean? I got the wings. Wings pretty much cover everybody. Everyone likes wings. I want to claim all sodas, but that's kind of cheating, so I'm not going to do that. I will, however, claim the official game day drink of the NFL, which is Pepsi. I know the other one might be better, but if you think about it, when you go to the stores, what's on the shelves the most during football season is the Pepsi products. So I want all the Pepsi.
Because nobody's buying it.
Yeah, Pepsi's disgusting.
I want all the Pepsi, including the halftime show as well, so you guys can enjoy that. And I'm running with it. So I got Pepsi and I got Wingies. I'm next again, huh?
Yep, you are.
Yep. It's getting tougher.
If I have a TV and a couch, and me being the person I am, I'm gonna go for a non-edible item, and I'm taking it off your guys' plates. You guys might not think so, because you guys haven't experienced, the true greatness of what is football surround sound. So I'm taking the sound experience. I want a full surround sound system. I want to hear Jalen say hike in front of my right ear the whole game. And I'm still in that. So I got wings, I got drinks, I got the best system in the house, the sound system.
Well played. I thought that was going to fall back to me. Well played.
All right, I got food, I got snacks. I'm gonna go with a nice yummy dessert. We're gonna do cheesecake bites. You can just pop them one at a time
For your third round, huh?
That's a reach.
Light my fire there, that one, buddy.
What?
Yeah.
Cheesecake.
No, we're saying it's a great pick. Great pick.
No, cheesecake. If it was like a dessert to have, it's cheesecake. Just saying, you could have saved that pick for the 10th
Yeah,
round.
until one of you guys pick it. I'm claiming it.
Who's picking that? Okay.
Third round.
So then now it comes back to Big Daddy. And then every football Sunday party has to come with a large pepperoni pizza. So I am going with a pizza on my coffee table next to my brewski, next to my cheese dip. I am loving life with a big old pizza.
Sounds like food waste to me, but
All right, let's get that out of the way. Now, with Andrew going dessert, I don't know if I should go dessert. Do I go crumble cookie? And I think I do. I think I go 4 chocolate chip crumble cookies as my dessert. Nothing better than a chocolate chip crumble cookie.
A chunk chocolate chip cookie is better than a crumble. All right, good. I'm glad you went dessert because I wanted to claim the category of bagged chips.
the entire category.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you mean? You claimed the entire category of chicken wings.
But I didn't claim the entire category of.
You said every
Drink
flavor.
or
Every
soda.
flavor.
He said Pepsi.
Yeah, I'm claiming all the chips because I'm
You
salty about
chip.
them wings.
All right. What chips is what is your go-to chip though? Don't
Cool
you say
Ranch
all chips.
Doritos.
Kind of went up 2 points in my book. I love those chips too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm next, right?
Yes,
you
sir.
All right. So I got wings. I got Pepsi. I got a surround sound system. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
4th round. All right. So I am debating between. I was gonna say chips. That's a pretty good one, but I was gonna say like
That is a good
Doritos.
one, Andrew.
I wasn't gonna say every chip in the world.
I did.
So I'm gonna go with the other classic game day stuff. Maybe not in Steven's house because they picked pizza. But I'm gonna go with nachos.
It's a good
Easy,
pick.
easy finger food. I got nachos and wings. Who needs pizza anyways?
I mean,
I
there's a
got-
little bit of a chip.
America.
Yeah, the thing about my house is I make my own chips. So kick rocks. How about that? So I'll take nachos. Not bagged
You
nachos.
don't make your own chips, do you really?
If the bag of chips is gone, apparently, then I'm making my own nachos. Anyway,
Hey,
so I'm
Andrew,
going-
Andrew, chips have been made in his house before and in my house. So
All
I'm
right.
just giving
my wife makes pretty good chilaquiles with like fresh. Anyways, so I'm taking my sound bar, taking my chips
Wings.
because your chips are nasty, my wings and my surround sound, and then I'm gonna go ahead and claim the entire category because I'm assuming people are coming over to watch the game. But I'm also taking like team decor that includes jerseys, that includes any kind of banners and flags,
Passing out jerseys.
any kind of wings or not wings, any kind of
It's really stuck on them wings.
Hey, you hungry, homie? You good?
kind of flags, anything that has a team on it, I'm claiming it. You're not wearing your jersey. I don't even know. You're not even wearing your hat or your shirt. If it has a team logo or a team on it, it's mine in my household, not yours.
All right, Andrew. It's your last pick. What you got? A lot off the board.
I think I got to go drink with this one. So I'm going to do the anti-NFL sponsorship and go with Pepsi. Or sorry, not Pepsi, Coke.
You making
Coke.
Pepsi nowadays or what?
No, I said Coke, not Pepsi.
Yeah, you're off the Coke right now where you're speaking.
That's a good pick. I like the drink. I definitely like the drink. Freaking Matt has been like looking at my paperwork. I had
I'm gonna tell
soundboard
you what. Listen,
and jerseys, my guy.
cheesecake
And jerseys.
bites really just ruined your entire draft. I think you're dead last because of the cheesecake bites. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie, Andrew. That cheesecake pick
Cheesecake
was like,
bites are good.
hell yeah, I
It's-
got second lockdown.
So it's
for
it's
sure.
very apparent with that pick that Andrew doesn't watch football, but he's been invited somewhere before. And he's like, let's just grab cheesecake bites on the way there. Showed up
Yeah.
with cheesecake.
My wife will make cheesecake bites any day, and I will eat them.
Hey, my phone don't break. You gonna give me a call when cheesecake bites are being made? Because I like cheesecake.
Not anymore. Not after all this hate.
Okay.
Well, we just don't want it on our like a football game day essential. It's not a
We should-
cheesecake bite. You know what I mean? Like
Then
Oh,
don't
right.
eat my cheesecake bites.
it's not a
So,
Sunday. Like
let me
I'll do
get
like
my
a
final
Monday.
pick in. Let me get my final pick in. So Matthew had the surround sound system, the chicken wings. He had the decor, and he had what was the last one? Pepsi, right, Matt? He had ice cold
Sounds
Pepsi.
right. Nachos.
Yeah. Andrew, I don't remember anything he said but cheese bites.
Cheesecake
So-
bites, yeah.
I'm gonna be chilling with my wife watching the game because my wife is an all-day NFL watcher just like me. I don't want to be sitting
Bro.
on the couch by myself eating a big ass pizza.
My man's.
This man's just
And
trying to
he-
get some.
He must be.
Taking over.
He must be starving for this dinner tonight, or something. Because what
It's
what
Chipotle.
answer is that?
I was gonna say a homie, but then I thought I was like, that's a little suspect. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, oh, I'm sitting on I messed up saying a couch for two because I don't want to be like, oh, and I'm waiting for Matt to come over to watch the games. Kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
That's kind of weird.
to my lovely sister, who I love so much, please forgive this man for whatever he's done. Because clearly he's trying to win some brownie points here.
Hey, I love you, baby. I love no, I'm kidding.
Exactly what's happening. Right now.
No, I was gonna say a homie, but that kind of a little weird. So I was like, I bring my old lady.
Yeah, that also
She's
would have been a
cool.
little hard too, I think.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Especially because like I don't think we had to say that because I did say my team decor one. I'm pretty sure people were coming over anyway, so I want team
Yeah.
decor.
I kind of, but it was just weird because my two sleeper picks were team decor and the sound system. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna end it with being it bumping in there, and then I was like, damn it. So,
I figured Andrew would lean heavy because of just
but,
looking at towards the
but
food.
no matter what I picked, I'm still gonna be at least in second because I didn't pick
Cheesecake
cheese
bites.
bites.
Yeah.
That's my third pick.
Right, cheese curds.
Bites ain't bad.
No, they're good, man,
They're
for the
great.
fifth pick.
they're-
But like the
Cheese.
third,
Okay, so looking, if there's a football,
There was
party
a
going on,
strategy, and you went there because you went and picked it so I could get my chips.
if there's a football party going on, okay, I'll give you this. Here's what I'll say is acceptable answer for this. And you're the 10th person invited, so all other things are covered, and you feel bad, so you say, "What should I bring?" I insist on bringing something. Then they will
Cheesecake
say
bites.
dessert, in which you would say, "Cool." But notice how that's the 10th thing on the list, and we only had 4 rounds, 12 things total. That shouldn't have came up until Steven's pick in the last round or yours in the last round. and
yeah.
it came up in the second
Third.
or
Third.
third. Yeah, I want to say.
Third.
So there is a small twist to this. The last secret round. I want you guys to tell me what's one thing that people do when they show up to a small party that you just like, you didn't like, those people who just bring plates or they bring like a 2-liter for themselves or they bring a soda for themselves. What's one thing that people do when they show up to your house for either a gathering or a little party like that just kind of like, really, bro? Really?
They show up.
They show up just to eat.
They
What
just
what is
show up.
what is that one? Starting with you, Matt.
So real quick, I just wanted to point something out. We have one guy on this stream clearly asking for his forgiveness from his wife, which would be Steven.
Yes.
We have another one's wife in here going to bat for the cheesecake bites, who also doesn't watch
Telling you.
football or experience football Sunday.
And I'm glad
Try
she's
these
here.
cheesecake bites. I'm telling you, life changing.
And I'm glad she's here because at 7:47 she put "I'll watch." That means she's still watching. That means she shows up way more than Andrew does. And you know what?
Yeah,
Respect
she's already
that.
in a better
Appreciate
shape than
that.
he is. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Listen, what I will say is, Loren, I've had every kind of dessert she's ever made, like for Andrew, not for Andrew, but like that's come to his work. They're all pretty good. And then I've had like, I've also had like, and this is, I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I've also had really salty popcorn, so like,
I knew this was coming.
so I could go 50-50 with me for the chicken pies, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
anyway.
You're never getting
It was like,
invited
it
over.
was like 2 or 3 times in a row that it was like way too salty.
yeah. And each week I would just, and then
God, you want
slowly,
it? God, you want it?
slowly over the weeks, it remained more and more full. And so finally she just goes, "Did I oversalt it this time?" And I was like, "Yeah, honestly, it's been a few times, but I just didn't want to say it to you." Like, but
Look at you wrote it
yeah. I digress.
there. Oh,
And yeah, Popcorn Gate was it scarred me because before that I had nothing bad from Loren. Like I've had like lasagna with like hot sauce on it, like some like hybrid cookies that have like an Oreo stuff in the middle, like just crazy
that sounds delicious.
things you wouldn't think of, and things I'm always, and Andrew knows, I'm always like, that can't be that great. And I try it, I'm like, yo, let me get a dozen.
Mhm.
And then popcorn came, I just didn't. That should have been the giveaway.
Oh,
The
I don't know
giveaway
what
should have
happened.
been I didn't ask for more.
The popcorn was just like, it's
Yeah.
usually spot on.
And I will say, out of the 8 films, there was a solid 2 films with like good popcorn. It was after she realized her mistake and she fixed it. You know what I mean? The butter beer was really good, and you guys said that was messed up, and I don't think it's messed up. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Matt, give me your answer. What's
yeah,
your
back to
what's
the question
your
at
thing?
hand. This is gonna sound like really pretentious and like rude because like if I invite someone to my house, they should feel comfortable. but I don't want you showing up in my house in flip flops, and I don't want you taking them off. Like, I don't want you barefoot on my couch at all. Like, you should probably just bring socks, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first off, if I'm inviting you to football Sunday, it's because you're a man. If you walk in there with freaking flip flops on with some reefs, we have a problem. Your man is already in question.
Especially if you're putting your feet on someone's couch.
Even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's a friend, like, or a family member, like, Steven, sure, whatever.
But if
And
I get
even-
over,
Even Andrew's like, no, don't come in and put your feet on my couch. And I made it a point to wear socks to his place, and I have some good Crocs and some good slippers I could have worn. But I wore socks to make sure that if I was taking my shoes off, I wasn't raw dogging it on the carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me,
Dogs out.
it's that, especially if like it's like your first or second time there. Like, you should just common courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Andrew? What's yours? You're next.
I mean, I wasn't really kidding when I said coming over. Let's see. If I'm gonna say anything, maybe just not cleaning up after yourself. Like if you have food that's on the coffee table, and then just like the plate's just there and left, or like empty cups thrown around. Like, man, I just made all this food for you, and then you're not even gonna throw it in the garbage.
But what are we to do if you don't have paper plates or paper cups?
But well, that wouldn't be the case. I wouldn't like.
I mean, I went over a few times and there was just glassware and stuff.
Yeah, that was like a cup.
And now I feel like I wasn't even really invited the way you're acting. I don't know nobody coming to my house.
You were invited. I'm just saying in general.
His wife jumped in and said,
when you say
no
kids,
yes.
That's
Dude, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I hate that, dude. We tried to play Cards Against Humanity or whatever, and you got little kids in the room. It's impossible. But
sorry, I couldn't have a sitter. Brought my 3 kids, and then they start taking Sharpies to your wall.
Yeah, video games. Let me play video games.
Whoa. That's something way too specific to like not have happened before. Because I've never. That's not what I thought of. I just thought like a screaming kid running down my hallway.
No, that's what I thought of. You don't have my nieces and nephews.
No, hopefully they're not in this. Okay.
No, they
ain't here. They ain't never gonna. You want to know how I know they're not here? Because Andrew doesn't care to promote our platform even to his own family.
No, I just
or even be here.
I don't want to subject you guys to my own family.
Cool with me. I got tough skin.
Worst they can do is go in our comments I don't read.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. So was that what your pick was? The no kids?
I'll take the no pigs. No kids.
No pigs.
Pigs, kids. I'm about to say
Pepsi,
cheesecake, cheese balls, cheese. Yeah. Oh man. So mine is gonna be. I hate it, and I have a rule. If I go to your house and I bring Coke and I put some Coke in the refrigerator, I don't leave with it. I don't take the Coke out, and I don't like later, guys, and leave. If I bring, I'm leaving unless the host goes, "Hey, take a plate," or "Hey, we're not gonna drink those sodas. You want to take them with you?" Then I'll take my stuff. But I hate when people bring stuff and then they're going, "All right, man, we're out of here." And then they take their food and leave or their drinks with them. I think it's the rudest thing in the world. I've actually like lost friends because of that, because they've brought things over and everybody's eating. And then they're like, "All right, man, we're out." And like literally took the thing of tortillas and just left while we're making tacos. And we're just like, you look like a guy who would do that.
I will say
that's the one thing that gets me. That I'm like,
the drinks. I don't necessarily care about that. But if you're bringing like the mashed potatoes to Thanksgiving and you're leaving early and not gonna have mashed potatoes because you left early, there's a problem with that for sure.
Yes,
yeah. The drinks I don't care so much about. The food though, if you're bringing food outside of the container, like I'll get a plate, I'll put it on the plate, but don't take the food with you. Take the container with you, like.
That is the rudest thing. And I know Matt's not much of a drinker, so like the drink thing really doesn't bother him. But if you bring like a 12-pack or a 30-pack or whatever beer and you put it down, and then it's like, "All right, man, we're out," and it's in the cooler, and you're just like taking beers out and putting them back in the box, I'd be like,
just leave it there.
Yeah, bro. Like if it's that much of a deal, you shouldn't have even brought the beer. You know what I mean? Like
people that bring like beer and like, "This is my beer, no one drink it." It's like, dude, then this is my ice chest. Don't put it in my ice chest.
This is my AC.
House.
Don't enjoy the air. You know what the fuck?
My air, don't breathe it.
I hate that.
People coming over.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said this all stems from people coming over. None of these
Yeah,
problems
we-
would happen
Yeah.
if
You
they
know.
didn't just
See,
come over.
We know.
This
You don't
is
wanna
why I
people-
drafted my wife, because she already is here. You know what I'm saying? And I love her, and please forgive me of everything I've ever done.
It's a waste of a
What
pick.
did you
A
do?
waste
No,
of a
not that,
pick.
Julie.
That's easily a free agent signing. You could have had that in free agency. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
not worth a 5th rounder. Well, my sister's great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but like
I'm gonna
she's
tell you
already
that right
there.
now.
You know what I mean?
Wait, is this the sister that calls me old?
No,
All right.
That's the other
it is
sister.
not. It is not. With that being said, gentlemen, that's going to end our show. I think. I had something I was going to say at the end, but I forgot it completely. So everyone have a good night. We've been slightly unqualified as usual, especially Andrew tonight, though very unqualified because he took 2
We're
weeks
just
off.
happy you showed up, everybody.
Exactly.
Say thank you for
Exactly.
showing up. Like,
You
comment,
all-
subscribe.
Hey, from
Hey,
Brazil.
from Brazil.
That's cool.
Hey, what's up, man? Catch us every time live on Thursday night, man.
What up, Paolo?
Appreciate it.
Cool. Y'all have a good night. Have a good day. Catch us on Spotify, RSS feeds, wherever you can find us. You'll have us. Good night, good evening, good afternoon. Have a good one.